Hello, everyone. Welcome to IBEX Week 5 Unwrap. We're back in a secret location today because the studio is unavailable to us. Kenny is off in the tropics having fun in the sun. So it's Tom and I through a Zoom call. I'm sure everybody's used to this kind of setup these days. So welcome, Tom, to Week 5 Unwrap.
How you doing this week, Randy?
Not bad, not bad. I'm excited. There was a lot of home runs this week and some fantasy stuff that we rolled out, and I'm excited to dig into it. And with that being said, we'll jump right into like the fantasy portion. I was pretty excited to see that happen this week. I think we had a pretty good turnout of entries, and yeah, I wanted to kind of cover that. And yeah, any initial thoughts on how it went, Tom, this week?
Yeah, we had 24 entries. I think I told you I would have been happy with 10 the first week, so we more than doubled that. The processing of the stats went okay. We managed to come up with the top 3 winners, so everything's a green light with it. I think by the time people listen to this period will be closed, but as of right now, people can go in and enter their week 6 fantasy lineups.
Very cool. Yeah. So just if anybody has any questions on this, you go to indoorbaseballx.com. You're going to go to the fantasy button here on the homepage. That will take you to your screen here where you log in. I'm currently logged in. So then you can just simply scroll down and select the players you want to choose for this week. And yeah, it's really simple, easy to use. You don't have to play in the league to play the fantasy portion. So I encouraged a couple of buddies from the office to play, and they had some fun with it. So yeah, really cool feature, and we're excited about it. And yeah, now we want to kind of go over kind of the results from last week. So to see the results, you go to the fantasy league page here. You go to the results tab, and you can kind of see where the week 5 results here. Ken, our partner, actually came in first. And Tom, do you want to explain what we're going to do with that? Because he's not eligible to win.
Yeah, IBEX founders are not eligible for the prize. There's 3 prizes every week. They're all Dick's gift certificates, $40, $20, $10. Anytime we win one of those gift certificates, we're going to roll the value into the first place prize next week. So Kenny won this week. He won the $40 gift certificate. We're not going to give that to him. Instead, next week, we're going to give first place an $80 gift certificate.
Yep. Very cool. I like that. Build it up a little bit. Let her ride. But Jake came in second, right? And Tommy the Cork came in third.
Yep.
So they'll be getting their gift cards from us, right?
That's right. Yep. We'll send them via email. And I just want to stress, this is really easy to play. You're just clicking on players, and then it's free to play, and you have a chance to win a gift card every week. So there's no reason not to do it.
Yeah, it's very cool. And I made the mistake of basing my whole team around this Tom Genrich guy, and that ended up being kind of the flaw in my plan. So, but no,
it was kind of mine too. I built my lineup around that Tom Genrich guy too. What a dud.
But you can kind of see, a quick glance of the 5 people you had active. Remember, you do have kind of reserve type players if people don't play.
Yeah, if you click on the view, is it view results? That link on the right, just click on that.
We'll look at Ken's. So yeah, you can see that his 5 players he had active for this week, and then the 3 players we'll call the alternates that were inactive. So you can see a breakdown how many at bats they have, and remember, it's not how many at bats you get, it's your average on the week. So it's not important if you didn't have as many at bats as the next guy, right?
Right. It's average HitTrax points multiplied by your multiplier, and that determines your fantasy points. It's a very simple formula. Just takes average hit points and then HitTrax points and multiplies it by the multiplier we assign you.
Yep, and you can see the multipliers here that for the players that Kenny selected. And check yours out and try to get signed up for week 6. And week 6 will be locked in at 9 p.m. On Friday. Is that correct?
Yeah, typically that's going to be a cutoff. Next week, week 7, Mike has moved around some of the games, so we may have a later cutoff. But for
Okay.
this week, if you do see this before 9 o'clock on Friday, it's not too late to head over to the site, sign up quick. It takes a second, and then pick your teams, and you'll be eligible for that $80 gift card.
Very cool. Very cool. And then last thing I just want to mention on this is the how to play. I know we've covered this already, but there's a how to play tab. If you have a new player that a new person wants to play, or yourself, if you just have questions on the scoring and everything, it's all on this how to play tab, kind of on the top of the fantasy league page. So yeah, very cool. Nice job with that, Tom. And that's kind of the fantasy portion of the show. We'll move on to standings this week. And again, I'm just navigating the website so everybody can kind of see how it works, but you just go to standings here on the left, drop it down. We got our American division, which is the 55-mile-an-hour division. And a couple things that I've noticed from the scores and the performances coming in is the Crushers seem to be flying up the standings and looking like they're going to be tough to beat. So it's the Legends have been in first for a few weeks now. We'll see if the Crushers can sneak up on them.
Yeah, the Legends actually played 4 games this period. They were making up for a week that they didn't play. So if you're looking at these standings closely, you'll notice that their IBEX wins and losses jumped up quite a bit this week because, again, they played 4 games instead of 2 games this week. But yeah, it's the Legends and Crushers leading the pack in this division.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see the major league equivalent for wins and losses, runs scored. I think Kenny made a good point last week of, kind of the exit velocity is a good indicator of how people are going to finish in the standings. And you can kind of see that. So then what I look for is outliers, and the Norsemen, for instance, have, high average exit velocity and are in fourth, but you could see a team like that jumping up. So yeah, it's really a cool breakdown, and it gives you a nice snapshot of what's happening. We'll jump over here to the National League, which is a 65-mile-an-hour division. And one thing I wanted to kind of say, I thought of this the last few days, is this is 65 miles an hour at the plate, and meaning out of the hand, or what people traditionally think of like how hard does somebody throw, is usually from the hand, right, Tom? That's kind of how people approach it?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I think I asked Kenny whenever I have a baseball question that requires expertise. I go to Kenny. He's my go-to guy, and I think that's what he said. So let's go with.
We'll go with it. I'm just trying to make it seem like we're hitting pitching that's harder, which might not be true.
Well, I do think from the hand, there's a way that you can configure HitTrax to tell you what the speed is from the hand when it knows what it is at the plate. And I think these 65 pitches from the hand are low 70s, 73, 74.
Okay.
I think that's what we found.
That could make some sense. Okay. Excellent. So yeah, then jumping over to the National League, the Mammoth are in first at the moment. I'm on the Mammoth, and we're off to a strong start at the moment, but the Cardinals I know are storming up the leaderboard, and they've had some big weeks. They got some really good hitters. North Stars, Sea Donkeys, Merchants. There's just so many good teams in this division. Even the Grays are a really good team, and they got a high exit velocity average, and find themselves a little lower on here, but they're a team that could fly up this leaderboard. And we'll go over some of the performances here in a bit. But yeah, anything that kind of jumps out at you, Tom, as you look at this? I know you're looking on your phone, so it's probably hard for you to see.
You mentioned the Cardinals. I picked Mike Lewis on my fantasy team this week just because I remember watching him last year, and I don't think I'll upset him if I mention that he got off to kind of a slow start in the cage last year, but he's really been hitting the ball inside like he's always hit it outside.
Yep.
This year he's really coming on. So when I see the Cardinals, in second place, it doesn't surprise me because you've got the increased production from Mike Lewis on top of, Stengel and Kleppen and Heath and all those other guys who can really hit too.
Yeah, no, definitely. Lewis is a guy that I've played against for a long time in the TCM ABL, and he's just like one of the best hitters in the league. There's just no doubt about it. He's been like that for years. So he's also a really good catcher. So yeah, seeing guys like that get settled in, I think a lot of people, when they first join this league and just getting used to the pitching machine, getting used to the environment, getting used to, everything that's involved with this, it takes some time, but once guys like Michael Lewis figure it out, they can they can put up some big numbers. So yeah, that was really cool to see the Cardinals do well. North Stars, Sea Donkeys, same thing. They got a lot of really talented guys, and I'm sure they'll be hanging around the top here for a while. Merchants, I kind of a dark horse to win this whole thing too. So maybe they're not even a dark horse. Maybe they're favorite. I don't know. They got so many.
They're missing Michael Thomas this year. I mean, you probably remember him. Probably remember watching him last year. He's not playing with them this year.
Yep.
But I mean, he just crushed it last year. They still got Andy Powell. They got Cafferty. You know, they still got some good hitters too.
Yeah, and just so people know, if you ever want to look up one of these players and see some stats on them, their player comp, that kind of thing. Well, you mentioned Andy Powell, one of the best hitters in the league. You can sort by national division once you click. I'm sorry, you start on by clicking players, and I dropped it down to National League. And then you can just drop it down to whatever player you want in the whole league. And once you do that, you can bring up yourself, your teammates, what have you. And we'll bring up Andy Powell here. So most of the players in the league, or a lot of them, we have pictures of that Kenny and Tom have captured the last couple seasons. You can kind of see a quick snapshot of where they're at this season. So like he's 17th in MVP rank and player of the season rank and so on and so forth. So this is a really cool page that I want to make sure people are aware of. It's also got personal bests on the right-hand side here. He's hit the ball, his exit velocity personal best is 95 miles an hour. You can see he's got a player comp. Obviously the lockout going on right now, so the images aren't working like they will here, hopefully, when they resolve that. But his Anthony Rendon, which is he's a really good MLB player, and Andy's a really good IBEX player. So you can kind of see how that gets broken down here in this chart, and dig into this a bunch. There's a lot of information on every player, including like the trophy case. You can see all their swings they've ever taken and all these stats that come with it. So it's really, really cool. There's tabs for, we could talk about this for 10 minutes, but I think I encourage you to check it out and see what your player comp is. Who's yours right now, Tom? Maybe we should put you on the spot.
Christian Vasquez, I think.
Okay.
The Boston Red Sox.
Okay.
I'm not a very good hitter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was Buster Posey last week, which I was thrilled with. I would have liked to retire at that point. Just walked away with that Buster Posey comp, but
yeah, and we're not saying you have a same swing as as Buster Posey, or you have the same
Heavens no.
All we're comparing is these kind of the data here listed below. So all these different like OPS and exit velocity, launch angle, these kinds of things, and then it's how you compare, or how Buster Posey compares to the rest of the major leagues is how Tom would compare to IBEX is the idea. So
right. Each one of those bars is relative to the league. So my gold bar is my performance relative to IBEX players. The black bar is Vasquez's performance relative to MLB players. And then we just look for the player whose bars are closest to my bars.
Very cool. Yep. So yeah, check out the player card pages. They're a lot of fun, and each week they get updated. So next week Tom could have Jeff Rebele. You never know. So actually,
and just really quickly,
years, isn't it? How many players are we pulling from for comps?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's based on 2015 through 2020 StatCast data, and I've got to update it for the 2021 season, and I might actually knock it down to like 2019 through 2021, so we get more current players as comps, because some guys are getting guys who retired like in 2016, and it's not as much fun.
Yep. Very cool.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So that's the kind of the standings and into the player card portion of things. Next, we'll go into awards, and we'll take a look at kind of MVP and the player of the season, that kind of thing. So again, if you're starting from the homepage, you go to the leagues button, and you go to awards here, and you can pull up the MVP race. So we'll pull it up for the American League. James Zapp had a monstrous week 5, from what I understand, and is kind of overtaken first place in the MVP for 55 mile an hour American division.
Actually, these are the weekly totals. I don't think if you go to the standings.
Oh, I'm on the wrong tab. Okay, yeah. Scott Butner, there's no surprise there, but James is in second. And
Yeah,
Eric
we'll talk
Lundgren was
about.
in first before last week, so a couple of guys jumping up there.
Yeah. Scott on the Legends played 4 games, so he basically he didn't get any MVP points. His MVP points weren't recorded last week because he hadn't played those games. So he got last week's points and this week's points, which is why he's at the top again.
Right.
Just, we had to catch up with those games.
Very cool. Yep. And yeah, so you can kind of get a feel for who's on the leaderboard here. It's a lot of the same cast of characters. And Buettner, Zapf, and Lundgren, I can see that kind of being the three here towards the end. But with that being said, Nate and John, and we've talked about Ryan here in other shows. There's a lot of other guys in the mix here, so we'll see who kind of separates themselves from the pack here the last few weeks. We'll jump over to the National League, and Tom Corcoran's in first. Sam Knight is right there in second. Diamond Dan Cazaza is in third, and Valentino is in fourth. And then Big Keith, you're gonna say his last name this week? Bistovo?
Let's go with Bistodu.
Bistadu? He's in the mix as well. So, but really,
we got to get Keith on at some point, just so that he can tell us how to pronounce his name. Like, yeah, seriously, we'll get him on one of these Zoom calls. I think he probably listens to this. So
yeah,
Keith, we're coming at you soon.
He's a fun guy, I can tell, and he's a smart guy. So it'd be fun to have him on here. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a tight race. I think it's kind of the Cork and Knight show, but we'll see. We'll see if Diamond Dan or others can pop up there. So yeah, that's a look at the MVP, kind of a quick look. And again, you can always check that out by going to awards and then MVP. We'll jump over to the player of the season standings. Here's the player of the year standings. We got American League, and a couple of Knights leading the way. I have to learn more about some of these players. I don't know as many of the American League players, but there's definitely a few I do know. And it's fun to see Wade Peterson in the mix here for player of the season as well. He manages the Saints. And is there anybody else that jumps out at you on this list?
Well, quickly on Chris Munchow, I actually exchanged a couple emails with him this week. He volunteered me the name of a guy that had been known as Tom Knight. I didn't know his last name, so I just put him in as Tom Knight. But Chris set me straight there, and we exchanged a couple of emails. So he seems like a really good dude, and I'm glad to see that he's leading the pack right now.
Right. Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah. So you can, and honestly, if you need to see an explanation of how we get the player of the season, there's a tab for that. Just like to remind people how this list gets generated. So we'll jump over to the National League player of the season, and Bjorn, I think, has been first for a while. Look at that, and he's like doubled up on everybody.
Yeah, we talked about this briefly last week. I think Bjorn had quite a few strikeouts week one, and it's exposed kind of a weakness in the methodology we're using here. If you start out with a really, really bad week one, it kind of sets your baseline so low so that, the next couple of weeks, if you perform closer to where you should be at, it just takes a while for that initial baseline to catch up to where you should be. Yep. And what we're seeing is that every week, Bjorn's baseline is ascending close to where it should be, but it's just taking a while because it started so low based on his week one performance. So we're going to tweak this during the off season, but Bjorn is in first, and he's got quite the lead. Yep,
definitely. So that you'll see the list here. Mike Dahl, I know, had a big week. I know he was in the fantasy results here. We'll go over that in a second. So yeah, there's definitely the same cast of characters are up here. Adam Reentz, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he's obviously a really good hitter, and I kind of expect him to jump over to the MVP rankings. And a lot of Rob Jones even makes an appearance on here in about 12th spot. So
the guy in second place, Brendan Faulkner, is actually our player of the week this week. He accumulated a number of medals, so I'll be tweeting that out tomorrow. But Brendan had a huge week. That's why he's where he's at now.
Yeah. So while we're covering kind of awards here, we'll jump in. Is there any other records that were kind of
Yeah, you want to jump over to the records page? We'll go over that really quick. I know James Zapp James Zapp entered the record book this week based on just an electric performance. I mean, he had a massive week. So I don't know if he's on the.
I have career here. I think I need
Yeah,
to
just go to single swing. I don't think we had any. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if we had any. I always check the dates when I'm looking at this to see.
Yep.
who
And
did
actually, and
big
just it's kind of
performance.
fun to see this too, because single swing stuff. Emery's obviously come up rehabbing and working his way back from surgery, but he has the hardest exit velocity swing in IBEX history at 104.5, which is crazy about a year ago. And Keith, Emery, and Scott Butner. So no surprises there, but yeah, it's fun to see these single swing records here. But
Randy, jump over to game, because I think that's where we're going to see James.
Yep, I thought I saw him in here for, here's one for, what is this, points in a game? No, distance.
Yeah. Yeah, he set the record this week for the most, I guess the most cumulative distance in a scoring period.
Wow.
So,
okay, so he 4,000 over 4,000 feet. Is that what we're saying?
That's right. Yep.
4,000 feet of flight from his swings, and obviously they scored a lot of runs too. I think they were in the teens the game I checked in on, and yeah, so he got over 4,000. He broke my record. I had 4,000. I apparently.
He's on the cumulative points. He's number 3 there as well.
Is he?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, no, it's very impressive performance by James. All the crushers seem to be doing well this week. So yeah,
Nate Stark.
Yeah,
you can see up top. Nate Stark is actually he got 12 hits this week.
12 hits by Nate, one shy of Tom's record. So yeah, Nate actually was just a hit machine in game 1, I believe, on Friday. So that was really fun to see. And yeah, no, a lot of good performances. With performances being said, and I forgot to mention this during the fantasy portion where we talked about who won, but I kind of wanted to show kind of what was the ultimate fantasy lineup this week, and that can help us kind of determine who had some really good performances. You can kind of see the list here. Mike Dahl, Gordon, there's a Faulkner, Dale Bjerke. Yeah, this is the lineup that if you pick these guys, you're probably winning the fantasy this week.
Yeah, very quickly on this. I don't know if anyone from the Mavs is watching, but the Mavs entered a guy named Fred. They had a guy in the lineup named Fred, and I didn't know who Fred was, but I was able to look at his HitTrax account, and it looked like his email was connected to Vataseri. So I assume that Fred was an alias for Rahan Vataseri, who is in the league. Now, if I got that wrong, then it's not Rahan Vataseri who scored 143 fantasy points. It's a fellow by the name of Fred. So I just wanted to put that out there in case Rahan is looking at this saying, what on earth? I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
We'll try to get clarification on that. But yeah, Mike Dahl had a big week, and I want to say I had him in my lineup. Now I got to double check, but yeah, he looked like he had a big week for the Cardinals. And
Mike had a really bad week 1, and that's why his multiplier is where it's at. So it's going to take a while for that multiplier to come down to where it should be. So he's a good pick.
Mike in your lineups right now.
Yeah. I
mean, but the multiplier does change, right, week to week, but it's going to gradually change.
Right. It's going to come down. Eventually, it'll find kind of the player's level, and players who start out slow are going to have higher multipliers until the multiplier kind of comes down to where it should be. And that's what's happening with Mike. So 4 was high for him, which is one reason why he scored as many points as he did.
Gotcha. Very cool. So yeah, check this out, and maybe you want to use a few of these players in your fantasy lineups this week. But yeah, we'll be running the same fantasy game this week, and we'll have a little better prizes with the one carryover for first place. So definitely check that out. Next, we'll move on to the kind of the tail of the tape portion of the show. Last week we had 3 home runs, and I think it was an all-time low. And I think this week, I don't know this for certain, but we had 15 home runs, and it might be a high. Do you remember a 15 home run week or more in the
I'd have
past?
to go back. I'd have to go back. I mean, there were weeks when, I mean, we had Elliott, Engen in the league, and Emery and Cork all hitting home runs, and you. So it wouldn't surprise me if we had this many, but this is on the high end for sure.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. And we're gonna bear with us as we click through these clips. We're gonna go fast. But yeah, we'll hopefully the sound isn't too loud either. But we'll run through these. Like I said, there's 15 of them. We'll play them one by one quick. And yeah, if you have any thoughts on it, we'll jump in there, Tom. But first is Faulkner with a 378-foot shot. Again, you can see these games are streamed on Twitch. Left-handed hitter driving it to center. Wow. Watch it.
That was Valentino.
Yeah. Valentino Faulkner. Boom. Center field.
He's got a beautiful swing.
It's a compact, but he has a lot of power. Like the way he's short to the ball and he doesn't finish real long, but it's impressive. Next, we'll with the second longest home run of 371 feet, we got Corcoran. He had a few home runs this week. We'll jump in here. Cork's kind of got, like, I think of it a Ted Williams-like swing, but we'll watch it one more time. Kind of a little rock action, and he even pulled that a little more than he typically does, but yeah, he crushed that one. Sorry, I feel like I'm yelling now because I'm playing videos to it. Sorry, everyone, if I'm loud. Diamond Dan, I think, might be his first home run of the year, at least the first one in the tail of the tape portion of the thing. And I think there's a little celebration here where we nominating this the celebration of the week, or are we gonna have to watch it here first?
Well, there's 2 candidates, so let's watch them both, and then at the end we'll decide. So here's
Sounds
Dan.
good. Here's Diamond Dan.
What I like about Dan is he was leaving, and then he remembered, wait, I got to do a celebration, so he came back.
He listens to the show. He listens to the show.
He'd catch it in the ear hole next at bat if he did that in a real game. Like, he left the batter's box and came back into the bat flip. I mean, he wouldn't survive that game.
It was great. I loved it. And then, okay, we got sprints. It's the mysterious sprints. At least it is for me. I don't know. Maybe it's really is.
No, it's John Novak.
John Novak. Okay,
it's John Novak. Yeah.
He had a couple home runs. This one was 362 feet. We'll take a quick look.
Plays with the Norseman. I don't know if he plays in the Federal League in the summer with those guys.
He's got a short compact
Definitely
too. Watch it one more time here. Oh, maybe not. That was good. He's got a short swing. He has another one here too, so we'll get to it in a second. Oh, we'll do it now. So 356 feet. He has another home run here. I'll start it over. Look at that compact swing, turned on it. Not a big long swing. Yeah. It's fun to see some of these guys hit. Everybody's got a little different style too, which is fun. We got 3 more Cork home runs here. We'll jump through. This looks like a carbon copy of the first one. 352 feet for Cork. He had 4 home runs this week, which I think ties the record for a doubleheader.
Yes, he was gunning for 5. He's well aware of what the record is when he hits those home runs, and he's always trying to set it. Maybe this week.
Yeah, this one's 352 feet. Just got out over center field. That was a good shot too.
He told me that this week he was working more on pulling the ball, and he thinks it might have impacted his performance a little negatively in terms of
batting.
He had some zeros. Yeah. But, what hitting the home run for him. So trying to pull the ball a little bit more.
This one, he turned on it in 94 miles an hour.
It's just a line drive.
It's just a line shot out of here. I think that was the first pitch of the night.
Yeah, he hit the first one over the fence.
Next, we'll do sprints. Novak, or no, who'd you say this was?
John Novak.
Novak, that's what I thought you said. Okay. So here's John Novak's second home run. Just like short and compact to the ball, right? Watch this one more time if it lets me. Celebration. It must have been his first one. But yeah, he was pretty excited. That was fun to see. Actually, we got another one of his 341 feet. He had a bunch. He had 3.
Yeah, he's been hitting well, but these are his first home runs. So,
and he is so quiet, like not a big leg kick or anything. Yeah, what this one, look at he's just it's so fast to the ball.
yeah, that's a great freeze frame there too. You know, he's got the extension.
Kind of want to speed it up.
Really nice looking swing.
Yeah, one more time, sorry. It's so quiet, boom. It's like he was from point A to point B with no wasted movement at all.
He's got the power L.
Yeah.
Hitting against the firm front leg. I mean, everything about that is just pretty.
Yep, very nice. Very cool. A couple more here. I snuck one out at 88.6. Probably pull them as much as I possibly can. And I usually don't hit them to like right center. That's about as opposite field as I go. So that was good. And then my second one, I think I pulled more. We'll see here. This one was 91 miles an hour. Maybe not. Kind of a line drive to right center. And yeah, just a couple more here. Andy Powell hit another one this week. He's got another short compact swing too. Watch this. Boom. Just sweet stroke. Not a lot of wasted movement. And then last is Bam Bam. What's Bam Bam's? Yeah, I see him on Twitter and other things. What do you know? What Bam Bam's name?
Oh, it's Eric Lundgren.
Oh, Eric Lundgren's Bam Bam.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought I know Lundgren. I'm sick. I didn't connect Bam Bam and Eric Lundgren together. Well, Lundgren got another one. Boom. I mean, he does not cheat himself. That is.
No, he takes a big boy swing when he gets in there.
I mean, yeah. See if I can.
He does it in real baseball too, though. I mean,
He does. I mean, look at
swing.
that load that he's got onto his backside and
right
the leg kick, and there's no that uppercut. He's got one thing on his mind.
He gets that front foot down before those hands release, which is what you want to do. He gets that nice stretch.
Yeah,
it helps him generate that power.
He's got one more, and then this is the 15th home run of the day. Boom. Looks like the same exact one. And Houston, I think.
Yep.
Very cool. So yeah, that was the tail of the tape of the week. 15 home runs. We'll have to do a double check and see if that was the most ever in a week for us. But yeah, it was very cool to kind of see some new guys pop up on there hitting home runs. So yeah, I think
we're gonna do the Zap video now, or
yes.
Next
Thank you for reminding me. We got so James had a monstrous week. The Crushers had a monstrous week. Bam Bam Lundgren, I didn't know that was a thing. Is had a big week. I mean, look at these lines here for this clip. These guys are all 8 hits, 6 hits, RBIs. They're all evenly distributed. But yeah, we had bases loaded. James is up at Wrigley Field. James is a good hitter. We'll kind of see what happens here. I'll start it over. Boom. That's great. It was funny. I think I hear a finally. We'll listen more.
Yes. Doesn't Wrigley Field have that basket at the top of the wall?
Yeah, it does.
That basket isn't represented on this in this virtual stadium, but if it were, that ball would have landed in the basket. I mean, he hit it as high in that wall as you could.
Yes, for sure. And he obviously could hit home runs, and we're not trying to poke fun at him all. He's one of the best
No,
hitters in the league. He's just
he's a
so,
really good hitter.
it was such a good reaction and it shows a little bit of like the excitement around this indoor hitting game we're playing. So it's
So
kind
should we call it a dead heat with the celebration of the week? I mean, that was kind of a celebration gone terribly wrong in that. But
yeah, no, I hear you.
Some credit.
You award 2 this week.
Well, I mean, right now we don't really have anything attached to the award, so it doesn't cost us anything. We
All
might
right,
as well give them both the
we'll
award.
call them co-winners of the award this week. So yeah, James and Diamond Dan are the 2 celebrations of the week. So, but
And real quick, James actually reached out to us on Twitter. He DM'd us and let us know where to look in the stream. So if you have a celebration you'd like us to kind of take note, just send us a DM, because again, we don't watch 16 hours of Twitch gameplay every week. We need help from our players with that.
yes, definitely. And yeah, with that being said, if anybody ever, we'll probably do more of these Zoom calls for the show once in a while. So if you're ever interested in joining the show for an episode and talking about some of the week that was in IBEX, let us know. We're happy to have people on and yeah, kind of talk to other players and teams. So yeah, definitely reach out to me, Randy at IndoorBaseballX.com, and we can talk about that. And then join the fantasy. It's super fun. The prize is even bigger this week. It's easy to sign up. If you have questions, you can let us know on Twitter or an email, and we can walk you through it. But and get anybody you want to be involved. Yeah, we encourage you to do that. Again, you want to check out all these stats at IndoorBaseballX.com. Check us out on Twitter. We have kind of a dugout splinters portion where we do some fun stats and such. So yeah, follow us on Twitter. Check out the website. Check out your player card. Play fantasy. Join the show sometime if you want. Send us your celebrations. All that good stuff. So yeah, I think that's all I got. Tom, what do you think? Got any last minute thoughts?
No, I think we can wrap up this Unwrap.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us again this week. Thanks for being part of this IBEX production. And I really hope to kind of see you guys at the cage. I hope to get in there on a Sunday and meet some of you new guys in the league. And yeah, we'll keep it going. So thanks again. And we'll see you next week.